Zdravím všechny, co se na kanálu tady se vítejte u dalšího pokračování našich cest po Tejvatu v Genshin Impact. Hru, kterou nemusím představovat, ale stejně to tak dělám, protože jedu podle šablony, protože je jediný způsob, jak můj mozek dokáže fungovat v situacích často, takže se rovnou vrhneme na to.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Shh. Yep. Again, by the way, menší note for later, ten her je, ty vlasy jsou divný, já vím, protože podobně jako u Raiden Shogun a jejího boss fightu v té speciální doméně, tak Furina má v cinematicích a těch prostě dialogových cinematic-like momentech jiný skin a jiný charakter folder, I guess, nebo jak tomu říct, než normálně v gameplay. Takže cinematic Furina a gameplay Furina jsou dvě oddělené osoby, které se skinově a módově neafektujou for some reason, protože já mám ze svých Furiny Freren, ale jak můžete vidět, tak ona vypadá úplně normálně, až na to, že vlasy jí trošku dělají humbuk. A nevím proč je jedna osoba takhle rozpůlená, prostě, že je v gameplayově je brána jako jedna entita, ale cinematikově je prostě neafektovaná absolutně vůbec. Jako uživatel módu, který má rád a užívá si jich, tak je to docela štve. Takže tady udělám lehký střih a je vlasy se jí magicky spraví. Shh, stay quiet for now.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out.
Ooh. Might she just reveal? Pokud si nás ale nevšimne a nevezme to jako okamžitou zradu, přičemž nám opět začne odporovat.
Sorry, but what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Farina.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you?
The
what
tears
do you
are
mean,
obvious.
Tear stains.
Wow, really? To ani nebudu nechávat ten dialog.
Rebel think they were disturbing my enjoy. They even dare to tout their archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
Stop trying to act tough. You're actually beyond devastated, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick,
Oh,
after
no.
her!
Yep. Manhunt.
Farina,
Literálně manhunt.
after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person. That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with... Ale jako úplně, že si jenom se nastřídal to. This should be
To technicky za to bych mohl, ale dostal bych určitě od YouTube vole lepáka jak svině, takže budu doufat, že broukání té melodie bude v pohodě, i když jsem slyšel zvěsti, že i to můžou smáznout.
There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine, fine. I suppose haste is warranted.
Suppose I said what?
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place is not what I would call soundproof, by the way. You might want to lower your voice.
You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
That's a good girl. Nekomplimentujte jí, nekomplimentujte jí.
What's happening?
To bylo
The
špatný
ground's
znamení.
shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Farina and the Traveler agreed. It's an earthquake. Another disaster just struck, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson...
Yeah, they already died. It's funny of her reached a limit. Now that she's talking about her actual feelings, she's starting to close far less stiff. We can talk amongst yourselves as Farina starts calming down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way.
Yeah, she's talking
And the
about it.
prophecy shall be fulfilled.
He's talking about it, the heavenly principles. The will of the heavenly principles will have its way. But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that would also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. No, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden.
Zpátky
But
do
honestly, considering my rank
původních
and
kolejí.
station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously.
Oh, come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. You don't have to shoulder this alone. We can help you. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide. Just share it with me. I'm what you would call a witness.
A witness.
Right?
Yes, I've heard heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes? In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
There's no time left anymore. The illusion's gonna fold. Just spit it out, please. Cinematic? Oh no. What's gonna happen? Je to šaráda. Si děláte srandu. To si absolutně děláte srandu, takže ten otřes byl, že přepravovali celou tu boudu. Ale my jsme fyzicky šli do posonu. To mi nemůžou vzít. Jo, linie je taky součástí plánu, ten byl na briefingu taky, takže já začnou se dít věci, o kterých Lumina a všichni ostatní ví, ale my, který ovládáme tu hru, vůbec ne, takže se budu cítit jako totální idiot. Ale pak, až tenhle ten díl dotočím, tak se to na to podívám znova a budu si to předvídat v hlavě, protože už jsem to viděl a budu se cítit hrozně chytře. To vím už teď.
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
Yep.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Proti Klorinže, ty vole.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Yes. You, dead, right now.
It seems like you have made up your mind.
Hands up.
She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Yeah.
How utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh. It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear...
Looking for excuses again, huh?
Not gonna fucking let that excuse stand, what the fuck? Tak cringe.
I raised my hands just now to indicate
Farina
my
is cringe
acceptance
right
of the
now.
trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone.
Just get to the point.
I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crime. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in... But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I,
Farina, good day.
Will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, I will protect you.
Yeah, but chill,
Applaud
go.
and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine.
Woohoo!
Oh, no. Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crime? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
Já dělá z toho hrozný drama, ale jádro věci je pořád na místě.
All right then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is
Oh.
that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
We were so close to getting her to tell us. It still turned out like this in the end. It's okay though. As long as I can defeat Farina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure everything out. Dong.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates.
Ah.
They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off.
Yay.
We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
Okay. Hodně komplexní.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Yeah, sorry about that. We kinda deceived you back there.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's part. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you're wrong.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. We hoped that you would share your secret with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
The only thing we can do now is to proceed with the trial. Still, I can't help but be a little bothered by the conversation earlier. What did Farina want to say to me right before we arrived?
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh?
Takže to už se taky stalo? Okay.
Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument.
Wow, what a practical gift. Never thought of using it that way.
Information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, all right?
Yay!
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. You defeat...
Yeah.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence.
Child's conviction.
This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out.
Even though Nervillette believed child to be innocent, the oratories chose him as guilty. Even Farina didn't know why the fuck that happened. Ten fakt, že ta oratoris je manipulovaná nějakým člověkem zavřený v temné místnosti bez jídla a pití, jako mě pořád zaráží doteď a pořád na to není odpověď. Takže meeting with the knave.
Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something.
During the plan meeting with the knave, she revealed that she had already probed Farina on her own. Believes it is. Jo, takže nám to řekla asi zpětně. She probed Farina on her own. She believes it is possible not only Farina is not really the Archon, but she is actually afflicted with some sort of curse. Oh, a curse. Takže nějaký prokletí než přítomnost dvou osobností v jednom těle?
The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think.
The entrance to the primordial sea is sealed beneath the forbidden zone in the fortress of Meripede. And, že tam je to primordial sea je lokalizováno. Nice. Dobrý vědět. And recently the primordial sea has nearly broken out. It was only temporarily pushed back by Nervillette's power. The
According to
whale.
Monsieur Nervillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time.
Takže Child šel za svou vidinou a nějakou jinou chodbou se dostal do toho primordial sea, kde pak byl v přítomnosti té velké velryby. Interesting. Takže víme, kam se poděl Child. Je uvnitř toho primordial sea pod fortressem. Navia falling into the seawater.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Yeah. While exploring in the ruin near Poisson, it began to collapse and Navia fell into the water. Into the primordial sea. Only the protection of her dead members prevented her from fully dissolving. And tea time with N.
The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Tea time with N. N communicated with you by connecting to your consciousness. She believes that the prophecy will certainly happen, but you don't need to give up all hope. Yeah, Mercury's on. Yeah, ten první dva akty. Bring back his wife. So many girls were exploring to try to find a way to bring back his wife and husband. So. Whenever bleach out to be innocent or yeah, to už jsme. Okay. Menší refresher done.
Prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true, but my
Voice
charge here is
acting.
unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Damn, what?
Was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Holy shit.
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Jako Nový byl víc vaším archonem než kdokoliv jiný, koho jsem viděl, nebo kdo byl představený v celém tom Archon questu doteď. Jako je to vodní drak, takže jako je taky powerful, ale jestli někdo vede Fontaine pořádně, tak je to Nový.
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Fair-minded audience member.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor...
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat
Ježišmarja, kolik toho chci ještě říct? Šuš.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
The people only see you as their Archon, because that's their long-held belief.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
I've got to think carefully on this. What do we know to be special about Farina exactly? Why can she live for so long despite being human? Ten kurz, to bylo jediný tady to, co bylo k ní připojený. Že... Který z nich to bylo, ty vole? Knave, meeting with the Knave. Protože... že Arlečína odhalila ten úplně obvious přepoj mezi prostě jednou s tou Furinou, která prostě nevěděla, jak se pohybovat konverzaci. A pak se přepnula na úplně jinou osobnost, která prostě vyhrála konverzaci během 10 sekund, takže jako v tom něco je. Yeah, she might be afflicted with some sort of curse.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the Knave? You'd sink so low as to use a Harbinger's words against me.
That Harbinger cares about your country more than you do. So shush. Doesn't matter who gave us the information, what matters is the veracity of the claim.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Novelet sensed it too, huh?
Yeah, Novelet sensed it too, holy shit. So, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Jo, přesně. Jak dokážete, že jste Archon? Pokud to lidem neřeknete. A pokud se vyloženě nevoháknete v outfitu, který je prostě nějak extravagantní jak svině, tak prostě a voháknete se nějak úplně normálně, jako Archon, tak jak vypadáte jinak? A nebo jak můžete dokázat, že jste jiný. Prostě to je extrémně složitá záležitost. Takže jdeme dál. Se tohoto chce vychutnat krok po kroku a dělat logické úvahy taky.
Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as God. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the indemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Ale jak se připojená k čemukoliv z toho? That one trial proved the opposite. Farina actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. Yep, Child's conviction byla absolutní anomálie. Všichni na celém světě se shodovali, že Child, ačkoliv je hodně drzoun, tak byl absolutně nevinný. Ale jedinej Oratrice prostě ho judgenul guilty a prostě šel pryč. For no reason.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need to provide an explanation.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
Jo, ta předchozí, před Kanry.
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
Sure, we can put the Oratrice aside for now. But then, Miss Farina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your powers as an Archon?
My power as an Archon? There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Brief demonstration of your power over Hydro should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, I know, right? Všichni víme, že prostě nemůže udělat nějaký pořádný defense, tak jenom koukáme, jak prostě je ve vortexu a prostě jenom swirluje prostě níž a níž a níž, až se potopí na dno nevyhnutelně.
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Děkuju. Přesně.
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me, please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is?
Your predecessor. Bylo to zmíněno mě jednou v nějaký tý spíčený tom templu, nebo tý ruině, kde se Navia skoro potopila. Nový řekl její fucking jméno, ale řekl to jenom jednou a já si to nepamatuju už. Ale ona, která určitě zemřela kolem Kandrie, jako většina lidí, nebo kolem toho zhruba. A ona je ten pravý hydroarchon. Nevím, co se s ní přesně stalo. Když se řeklo, že nejmladší je Nahida, která právě zemřela, ta je předchůdce Nahidy, neboli Nahida 1.0, kvůli Kandrii, a ona byla jako nejmladší, Furina je starší, údajně. Takže ona zemřela ta předchůdkyně před Kandrií, což tím pádem nebylo kvůli kombatu, ale mohlo to být kdo ví co, to se možná dovíme i přímo. Ale já teorizuji, že se stalo něco, co mě konkrétně nenapadne a co bude hodně nad rámec toho, co bych si tipnul. Takže pokračujeme dál. Ale poslední pravej byl definitivně její předchůdkyně. Nebo předchůdce. Může to být on.
If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really
O čem to mluvíš? Teď mám literálně Neuville řekl, že on jí nepotkal, tu její předchůdkyni, ale jsou záznamy ve Fontaineské knihovně nějakých údajů, kde je dokumentovaný její existence a vzhled. A měli jsme před sebou v těch ruinách tu desku, kde byla clearly ona a ne Furina. Takže, jako what are you talking about? Na to máme důkazy. Fajn, tak to neprokážeme, že měla předchůdkyni. Sure. We can try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only human, what evidence can prove that Furina is a human? No, absolutně nevím. Wait. Ta primordial seawater by dávalo smysl i z pohledu té profesy, protože tam se říká, že na konci všeho zůstane jenom Archon sedět na trůnu a plakat, protože všichni její lidé budou rozmočení v tom Primordial Sea a všichni budou mrtví a zůstane jenom ona, protože jakožto bůh má nějakou imunitu. Takže tím pádem, jestli je normální člověk a ne bůh, tak se rozmočí taky. Jestli je tohleto ta věc, po který jdou. Tím pádem... Jo, a já možná vím, proč je tu tohle. Jestli to tak fakt bude, tak možná vím, proč je tu tohle. Protože my ji accuseneme z toho, že ona se rozmočí tou vodou a ona řekne, že Navia se nerozmočila, takže ne všichni se rozmočej, že jenom některý se rozmočí, že ona na to pořád může mít imunitu. ale my se pak ohradíme tímhletím. To je moje předpověď. Takže to by dávalo smysl. Ale co se týká Primordial Seawatery, to nevím. Jo, tady mi to přiloženě říká irrelevant. Jo, tady je předznačený Primordial Seawater věci. Co z toho je existence Primordial Seawater a ne nějaký jakože případ s někým, koho se to netýká. The entrance to the seal beneath the forbidden zone reason that it's never looking at a temporary pushback of its power. To možná řekne, že prostě že ona to potlačuje, že ona se to snaží zbrzdit, ale přitom to potlačuje Noivil, a ne ona. True, but as soon as I became his attorney, the first one did I clear back as blowered against him and his tam není Primordial Seawater ani trochu. Tady je ta Seawater taky zastoupená. The Fontaine can be dissolved by water. Ta první věta je přesně co potřebuju. Fontaines can be dissolved by water from the primordial sea. Over the years of a share, this guy kidnapped and dissolved many young girls to try to bring back his wife. Haha! Take that!
It's been established that all Fontainians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really... Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontainian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Možná to bude brát jako sebevraždu a prostě jenom prostě vidí, že je to její konec a tak prostě se dotkne té vody, vědíc, že jí to rozplizne. A tak prostě tímhletím způsobem spáchá sebevraždu, protože prostě je tohle konec, nemám žádný východisko.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina.
Hey!
Oh. She actually did it.
I'm fine. Look at me, everyone.
She's special enough.
My hand is still here. I haven't been dissolved. Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon. I'm nothing like a
The fire has been ignited.
fall apart as soon as they touch this water. Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewien?
Don't be
Siegewien.
nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewien.
everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh wait, what did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
But you were about to. Byla bys dissolvnutá, kdyby si tam tu ruku nechala.
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You...
What's really going on here? Farina can't not have known the consequences of touching that water. Yeah, that's... This is too unlike how she usually acts. Unless it's actually more important for her to keep up the facade than to save her own life. But she hadn't given up on everything. Hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing. Think about it.
Oh, yeah?
How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial sea? Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
It's just pathetic at this point.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
Nope, no one believes that.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
Unless... Pokud se nepřepne do toho stejného módu, ve kterém byla, když ta Arlecchino Gnave proti ní hovořila.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Yep.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her.
Here we go.
Against her now.
The thing is happening.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty.
Ah, je to ta profese? Je ta profese, jak sedí na tom trůnu sama se slzama, ten fakt, že sedí na trůnu sama se slzama, protože jí všichni odkopli, protože si zjistili, že je totálně lživá a že není ani Archon. To je zajímavý.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique de la
Jestli to bude not guilty.
Farina is
Yep. Something's happening.
What's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
Yeah, it can't be. Did the Oratrice declare Farina to be innocent?
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
Okay.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
What an unexpected twist.
To death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
Well, she brought it on herself, so fuck her.
This outcome is indeed quite strange.
Mě její osud
According
nezajímá.
to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
What's more strange is, instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered the judgment on the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Is the entire thing a fucking fraudulent system? Je ta Oratrice naprostá píčovina?
If I may interrupt.
Okay.
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Yay. Fatui Fremine brings the thing.
That the first prophecy slate?
Oh, oni ho našli? Krávo, oni ho našli, ne.
Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Don't worry, the mystery hasn't been resolved yet. It's still not late for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like the previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanids into humans.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slates and the events in real life.
Let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Ježišimaria, tohle tam menu. Federated stone slates with working bars into the fountain water. When I finish verifying all the stones, true. Takže v podstatě dešifrovat ten meaning.
Describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans.
On the prophecy slate.
Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontainians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and we didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Verify true. Každý to oferuje nějaký explain. Navia bude relevantní k tomu asi. Protože falling into water, Navia falling into water.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment.
A já to přeskočil. Her consciousness was subjected to judgment. Já si to už ani neposlechnu. Myslím, že jsem to přeskočil, ty vole. Takže jsem slyšel jenom tu první část, no. Her consciousness was subjected to judgment.
We know from the case of the disappearances of young women that Fontainians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago the Hydro Archon used her power to turn oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontainians can dissolve.
The fact that Fontainians can dissolve is in terms of becoming back into oceanids is proof of their origin. Well, exploring the found water can shows Celestia floating in the sky, worshiping together, that still brought the judgment down upon them. That doesn't
sound.
So it's this. Yeah.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervilette mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
Fakt sere, že si to nemůžu poslechnout znova. Stone slate, history of the future.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontainians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
Yeah. Verification complete. To bylo jednoduchý. Nebyl tam výběr aspoň z tolika věcí.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
The first ray reveals that Fontainians are not humans.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of Fontainians from the Oceanids.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Což ale pořád si připomenout, že Neuville je trošku na jiný sféře v tomhletom, že on není jako oni, protože on je drak. Oni jsou lidi, kteří původně byli ty vodní stvoření, už jsem zapomněl jejich jméno. Ale Neuville sice taky není human, ale on je drak, takže on má trošičku jiný původ, ale jiný. Takže nevím, jestli by se taky dissolvnul. Ale jakož je magický powerful drak, tak možná ne? As for the third slate, I'm still convinced that it should come after the fourth.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
Fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy, as it's already widely known.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Absorb the power within.
Well?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Aww.
The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids.
Wow. Nice.
Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race, and thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
And that's how the people of Fontaine came to be.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
So they are in the right order. What is the third slate supposed to represent then?
A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice.
No way! And we fell right into it.
Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
I don't know. It feels like there is no way out of this after all.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Vodní exploze ve vězení nebyla ta hlavní doozy. What could it be? Child? And the ultimate proof.
This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
What is the source of the catastrophe? Okay. I will sit up for this one. Murder case on What are we verifying? Intrusion of the primordial sea. Monarchism of your identity. Takže můžu verify jenom toho. The evidence that verifies the intrusion of the primordial sea.
It was both dream and reality.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
Childová velryba? He did hear its call. Okay. What? There's the whale. I would get out of its way. Tu whale bych úplně nechallengeoval head on. Oh, bye bye. Child! Yes! Save us, boy! Boom! Tohle to už cítila. Go back, fiend. Speaking of fiends. Hi. It's Child. And he fell away, never to be seen again.
That was way too close.
Holy shit.
Thing just burst into the opera house.
Okay.
Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
That's right. I'd wager that it's also the one that Child saw when he was young.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Teyvat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanids, he filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontainians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontainians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late.
What do you mean?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Život někdy není fair. To tak prostě je.
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Měl jsme konverzaci s Anne.
The prophecy. Yes. What has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
After everything, it still returned like this. We couldn't fight against fate. Wait, but if this is all about fate...
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners, where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
Could it be that even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there still will be a way to save everyone? Did I miss something? Wait, I forgot about Farina. What was it that she wanted to say to me back in the last moment in the giant magic box? What is the real secret? A další giga cinematic. Tajemství oratrisu.
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
She doesn't care.
No, I still need answers.
Did she make it? OK, jsme v nějakém fantasmagorickém třetím světě. Tohle vypadá jako předchůdkyně. I když vypadá velmi podobně. Vypadá stejně jako ta osoba na té jedné desce, takže předpokládám hodně.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was not amused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass, and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. I
see.
In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be.
Totální kurva? Jako to nejde říct jinak. Jako Farina je v většinu času totální mrcha. Takže jako pardon, ale jestli to považuješ za dokonalou osobnost, kterou si chtěla být, tak ty seš taky tím pádem hrozná mrcha.
Anyway, so
si nedělá žádnou službu.
All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy, under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years.
Tahle ta číslovka mi kozuje takový PTSD, ty vole, že to není možný.
And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
So, v opravdové realitě, co se stalo? I came into contact with one of Farina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain being's strongest emotions. Which sufficiently with certain hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with the oceanid at the Fountain of Lucine. Yeah, that's right. To je vlastně pravda. Wait, could this be Farina's inner world? Takže můžeme mít tu konverzaci, kterou jsme chtěli. What's he doing? Wait a moment, that probably isn't Farina. It's probably a reflection of her inner self. If I can directly speak to that self, I might be able to get what I wanted. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let me try.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Farina?
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. But I don't see an audience here.
Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it?
Let the stage lights go off, please, even if for 1 second.
I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me.
That way I can
must
become
at
myself
all
again.
times display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Something's off. There's no getting through to her. It's like a wall. Even in her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydro Archon. What sort of resolve must she have to that even her inner self would have such impenetrable defenses? There has to be a way. Turn off the spotlights.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Yeah, just...
Stabilize.
Oh, neproniknutelný
There is no
štít.
escape. Laid bare. Witness my rise.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know.
Ten
Guards?
přední zač.
Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Tak, Elektroarchon, do akce. It's time to face the truth. Put the lights out. In Farina's heart, those lights must have symbolized the eyes of her people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just reached some sort of signal. Was that their true voice? Ticket? When's that an appear? Either way, it looks like the show's about to begin. In that case, show me how you truly feel. Whatever the fuck that means. Before a mirror, Farina, scene 1.
Farina. Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think... I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on?
Yeah, what about it?
I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
Jo, to kdyby se dozvěděli všichni ty naši konspiranti předtím, než jsme dali celý ten plán do pohybu, tak by nám došlo, že se snažíme o to, aby všichni umřeli, mezi tím, co Folsalor tady se snažila o to, aby přechytračila tu profesi a ty Heavenly Principles. Takže ve skutečnosti jsme pracovali proti našim zájmům celou tu dobu. A chtěl jsme jí ten její plán překazit.
How will I do this?
Wow.
A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
Magnificent trial pro všechny, jenom ne pro ní, takže ani to na to se nemůže těšit.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to.
Scene 2. Accession speech. Že to, jak se revealuje jako nástupce Archon. Slowly walking over.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural.
Summon the courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Verena de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Verena. Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine a god to speak and act?
První extravagantní super proslov may begin now.
Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character.
Go for it already.
Oh, very good, my Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
Wow. That's what you want?
It seems I've
really?
turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech.
Summon courage resolutely with conviction.
My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Jestli mám aktovat jako Forina, jak jsme ji znali většinu času. It's pretty easy, like drama.
Justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its god. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
End the speech emphatically.
No trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the opera epiclese, so long as I stand before the oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
See? See? That's what the audience wanted to hear. And she delivered. Scene 3, Opera House, Farina. Teraz pan můžu chodit.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Další scenérie.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me. Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right, Deoteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
You're such a gentle and wise God. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. No, když jsme ji potkali, tak říkala, že má lidi ve frontě, jako, který chtějí mítnout, tak jsme witnessnuli jednoho z nich.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water level.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
And the bed? U postele snad nikdo jiný není, ne?
I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going, and everyone will be safe. All right, Farina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Farina, I've waited so...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us.
Going through the motions.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Scene 5. Many days. Scene 182, 375.
It's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Dioteria, almost 20 generations ago.
Damn, is it that long?
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer. A descendant of a line most ardent. What is it?
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person.
Jo, jasně,
Well,
jasně.
can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the water.
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power.
Maria. Čím víc se blíží konec, tím víc je to painful.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much.
Předstírat sebestřední huju, která prostě se o nikoho nezajímá ve skutečnosti a jenom předstírá zájem po stovky let. Jo, no, to může mít svůj impact, no, kdo by to řekl.
Reached my limit. No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far? I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy.
No protože ty nemáš breaknout tu profesi. Tvoje práce je podlehnout té profesi. Tvoje práce literárně je podlehnout, aby tvá mirror me mohla udělat to, co plánuje. A překonat to. To je celý ten point.
Keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
Scene o jedno navíc. Stejné číslo, ale 6 místo 5.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
It's my voice. The scene from when we were within the box. This is great. I didn't think that scene would replay in the world. Surely I'll find out anything else. Určitě to neskončí v tom stejném momentě, kdy to skončilo v reálu.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me.
A witness. Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... She's right. I could confide in her, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really all right, Farina? You've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again.
Ale věci se daly do pohybu a ani jeden z vás to nestihnul. Lumina nestihla to z ní vytáhnout a Furina to nestihla říct. A všechno šlo podle plánu Mirror Me, neboli Folsalor, což na jednu stranu byl ten dobrý ending v tomhletom všem. Takže na jednu stranu díky bohu, že prostě že se to stalo tak, protože kdyby jsme my dostali po našem, tak nejenom, že my bychom přišli na ten pravou podstatu toho tajného plánu, ale i ty Heavenly Principles by na to asi přišli taky. A ta profese by se změnila, nebo by se nějak přidal nějaký nový trest. Takže jako, jo.
Think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Fine.
Fine. Be that way. I když je pořád fakt, že jsme jí totálně zničili veškerou kredibilitu.
You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done.
Yeah, it had to be done.
To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself.
Když k tomu té předstírané verzi plnosrdcově věříte, že je to fakt, tak je to ta nejlepší lež. Když věříte, že ta lež je pravda.
She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate.
A nebo kdyby jsme my uspěli.
Trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth. Is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
Okay.
Beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course.
Oh, no way. Protože jenom osvětlím tady část historie a takovou informaci. Kvůli někomu, kdo to neví, nebo na to zapomněl, nebo a taky většinově kvůli sobě. Ty archoni získali většinu své síly a ji vzali nebo prostě ukradnuli 7 elementálním drakům, který původně obývali tenhle svět a vládnuli na něm svojí silou v pradávných letech před stovkami a tisícovkami let. Draci tu byli první a měli boží sílu, ale pak ty archoni vzali drakům jejich sílu a z té síly, který těm drakům ukradli, si udělali svoji božskou sílu a postavili si svých 7 vládnoucích židlí, těch archonských, který vládnou teďkon po Tejvatu. Takže ona teďkon říká, že prostě vrací tu ukradenou archonskou sílu zpátky, odkud vzešla, k tomu drakovi vodnímu, který tu byl první. Neboli Noivil. Což je jako hodně halus teďkon, takže bude pokračovat.
In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
Hell yes.
But...
You are the Hydro Dragon, my boy.
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed.
See, přesně.
I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last. I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence.
Yeah.
But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Damn. Oh.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervillet. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Does the power flow to you? Thank you for all you've done. From this moment on, please live as a human happily, just as I wish we could. Nemusí předstírat, že je mrcha. Hej. Drak vody byl plně restornutý ke své moci. Své originální moci.
Iudex Nervillet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
OK. Takže zastavil rybou.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
V nějaké pofiderní, nikým nepostřežené páté dimenzi? Ano. Ale jak Navia demonstrovala pro nás teďkon, tohleto v téhleté časové lince a v téhleté dimenzi se vůbec nic nestalo. Bylo to jenom literárně pár sekund a vůbec nic se nestalo. Mezi tím, co Noivelle a my jsme prošli celým celou vysvětlovací obručí, ty vole. Takže, kde jsme byli?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtained power?
Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
You mean me?
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler.
Okay.
The hour of execution has come.
Sure. So, jak moc na hovno fight to bude, protože ten boss bude level 90.
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Nemám na to útočit stejně jako ten písečnej venut červ. Prostě když to vynořuje a vnořuje a jenom v těch koknech. Taková mrchově, ty vole.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and a chance will present itself.
Já mám porinu, takže je na to úplně ideální. Okay.
What's that hole-looking thingy over there? It looks really scary. Strike a pose.
Everlasting as the moon.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Stabilize! I will have order!
Now you shall perish!
3 days and nights in the belly of the great fish. Druhá fáze? Nebo je to všechno? Oh, tuhletu jsem viděl v banneru. Skrk. Alright, hotovo. Holy shit. It is not over
helping
yet.
with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
Disciple? Pet?
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world, so you may speak to me as equals.
What sort of person would take the all-devouring narwhal as pet?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much, and I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sertologi.
Who?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Sertologi.
So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
Reindotter?
Vetterfulnir then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhindaughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name.
Reindotter's mom.
To be honest,
Albedo's
I
mom.
also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is
Albedo's
likely
mom.
a similar sort to Rhindaughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
There's little to be surprised about, Paimon. It is natural after all. The prophecy will come true. We knew this and accepted it. However...
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Okay.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Když už Neuvel má tu ultimátní power nad všemi věcmi Hydro, tak by mohl z nich zase udělat lidi zpátky, ne? Hey, Navia has a boat. Of course he does. You should have made more boats. There we go, to je ta loďko, který jsem myslel. Hell yes, Vrajzliho loď. Holy shit. A já přišel na to. Přišel na to, jak tu loď zprovoznit. Hey.
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Ta profese se jenom vyplnila a celý tenhle ten proces doběhl celý svůj průběh. Takže je konec profese a můžete žít volně, mimo ní. No, the prophecy happened. Jenom se ta profese stala a pak se všechno vynulovalo. Není to tak, že celá profese neexistovala nikdy. Jako nikdo nechápe?
The Smearure talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Smearure, and we spoke about Poisson's present and future. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little of it. Skyship Winglet, booner brain of the Fontaine Research Institute.
Ale ta gigantická loď, kterou Vrajzli zprovoznil.
The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once-overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
Might be real big shots from the start. We just didn't meet them in that capacity.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With a disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well-traveled eye.
The articles do make me curious about how things play out.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on! Let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress. There are some things you'll only know when you get there.
Sure. For a better tomorrow. Finale. OK. Se toho stalo docela hodně. People rebuild their homes for a better tomorrow. Challenge Series 9. 3 days and nights in the belly of the great fish. Escape the belly of the beast without being hit at all by the phantasms within. Holy shit, no hit run. Já jsem tu fucking velrybu udělal no hit. To aplaus sobě.
Parties are a must
Nice.
for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the
Shush, pretender. Po tomhletom arku a po této epizodě celé její všechno bylo prostě šetrnuto a už ji nikdy neuvidím jako nikým jiným než jenom pretender a totální kus odpadu. Takže asi takhle, jenom její gameplay část jí zachránil od toho, abych ji zahodil. Protože celá její existence pro mě už ztratila veškerý smysl. Ani trochu není archonem anebo nějakou silnou osobou, je to jen normální human, který ani nemá podělanou vizi. A celý to byl jenom podfuk. Takže she can go fuck herself. And I will never acknowledge her as anything more than that ever again. Budu ji pořád gameplayově používat, protože je lehce useful. Ale to je absolutně všechno. Navia! A tady ten kabátník.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbor?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too.
Hey, friend.
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clarant?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
Oh.
All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god.
Oh my fucking
There's lots of
god.
exciting material there, I bet.
Stop.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Chlorand at any—
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up.
Go ahead.
How did it go? Was it a good
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
Oh, they seem to show the Poisson, click shutters.
All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Chlorand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
I already knew she was going.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervillet, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridsley will make a personal appearance.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
Jej, nemusím nikam chodit.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Yay! He does make an appearance.
Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Yay, she gets the interview. Jurio and Lumine.
Hey, no need to be so nervous.
Tohle je ten Jurio, ten vlastně říkal.
Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steenberg?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier,
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that long...
She really does know how to squeeze opportunities for all they're worth.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before. Oh,
Sijuin.
everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Ah, Sijuin.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Sijuin. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss Lorvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two.
On může zůstat víc mysterious.
I see.
Lots
Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
No, jako takhle, Folsalor je ta, která umřela. Purina pořád ta pretenderka, nevím, jak se to řekne česky, ta co předstírala, že je Archon, ta false Lorina, perfektní human postava, ona pořád žije. A pořád existuje, ta nikam nezmizela. Lidi si jenom dělají možná lehoulince milý představy. Jak tomu tak bývá. Minimálně teďkon může být tím, kým chtěla být. Musím jí dát za pravdu to, že Furina nechtěla být tou bombastickou krávou, ale že chtěla být sama sebou, ale lidi chtěli, aby byla bombastická. Pokud se teďkon, což teďkon nejsou žádný Archon questy, kde by vystupovala, takže ji možná teď ani neuvidím v té její pravý, normální, naturální podobě, i když je sama sebou. Jestli někdy uvidím aktovat, jak je sama sebou a nemusí předstírat bombastický výstup, jako by byl Archon, tak ji přesoudím znova. Ale dokud se tak nestane, stojím si zase.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right. Last stop, the docks.
Okay, vy jste tady pořád?
I'd love to see you in one of Charlotte's photo shoots one day.
Is that really necessary? Our line of work doesn't really require much photographing.
It's precisely because we don't need the picture that they'll have value as keepsakes. You don't really look all that opposed to the idea, you know.
Maybe I'm just happy that I managed to once again avoid the spotlight. I think this interview went well either way.
Yes, you successfully kept prying eyes away by using Mr. Jurier and Miss Lorvine as shields.
You should be happy for them. They have a bright future ahead of them.
Pravda. Speaking of which, ty jsou přímo tamhle.
Here are the interview notes. They mentioned that the flying ship may have many uses in the future, and the journalist asked me what I thought of them. Seriously, how would I know anything about that? Flight is just flight. Whether people want to use a flying ship to broadcast good news or organize weddings is none of my beeswax.
A wedding?
No.
Why are you looking at me like that?
So the flying ship can be used for weddings?
I didn't say that. That journalist mentioned it, and what does that have to do with us anyway?
True. What does that have to do with us?
Wow, to jsou prostě dva úplně nejvíc. Jak se to říká? Mám to na jazyku, ale nevím ten termín, jsem ho zapomněl, se mi vyplavil z hlavy. Ještě nevím, jsou vzájemně vůči sobě hrozně koj. By se tak chtěl říct prostě. Kdyby jsme se měli rádi, byl by to perfektní místo na to, kde mít wedding. Kdyby jsme se měli rádi, kdyby jsme se milovali, což není pravda, já tě totálně nesnáším. There's no way I would marry someone like you. Prostě jsou vůči sobě prostě takový prostě konstantně. Jako, really? Okay. Calamity facing Fontaine has come to an end. No matter what happens, presses won't stop churning news out. In other words, the people will learn the truth as fast as Steamboat staffers can write it. And back to Romertime Harbor, kde to všechno pro nás začalo. Jako součástí finále tady nás to ještě asi navede na Sumeru, ne Sumeru, v té vedle. Ale navede nás to na ten Natlan. Myslím, že to měl přežít. Hey, these three.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for...
No way.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
Je to velký introvert, takže bude potřebovat veškerou pomoc, co bude jí moci dostat.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yay, sounds like that would suit him.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, traveler?
I'm doing all right.
Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. Well, after Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem a bit irresponsible?
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Nervillet has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only Nervillet knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the fortress of Meripede a while back.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The gnosis was given...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds.
Oh, he
I feel
returned?
that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
Já byl v té super powered up stádiu o hodně díl, než by měl původně být, takže se to na ně podepsalo hodně hluboce. I guess I can now call him one of my war buddies.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Who would it be?
Father.
Father, mother.
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep to your position?
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone. And you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Actually, I just remembered. Placehill was delivered this.
A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
My jsme měli childhood vizi celou dobu.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Yay.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell,
Farewell.
Father.
Farewell.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too.
Yep.
And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now.
Věci skončily tam, kde přesně začaly. Tam, kde jsme začali, tak tam i končíme. I se stejnýma lidma.
I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte.
Farewell.
Shall we go see how Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
Look for neglect. Well. Tak. Bude zase 2,5hodinový díl, to úplně vidím, a to jsem ještě to ještě vidíte momentálně druhou půlku. Z druhé strany.
Entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neverlet. I didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
Jo, to bude docela heavy to říct nahlas.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Jsem přesně řekl. Přesně mě to napadlo. Prostě jedna věc je prostě, že se to stalo, ale druhá věc je to říct nahlas. Never sigh softly before telling you the truth concerning what he saw that day. False Lord deceived the heavenly principles and used Farina's endless suffering to save Fontaine.
So that's what happened?
I myself only saw Farina's part, though.
False Lord destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element.
The authority is to absolute control.
Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Fossilor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
Could say that it was at that moment that Fontainians were finally truly born.
Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Fossilor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask.
Že by Lumina jako jediná nezapomněla, že Fossilor a Furina jsou pořád dvě odlišné osoby. A že i když Fossilor byla odkráglovaná, takže Furina pořád tu někde je.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
A finální mnohootázkové finále. Here we go. About the initial verdict passed on Child. What was that about?
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Fossilor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Fossilor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual.
Holy shit. What?
Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Že si prostě vyprosíčkovali děti. Okay. Interesting development.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
As I know it. About Fontaine's future from now on.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Fossilor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Fossilor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Fossilor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Iudex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
So... about the Fontaine's Gnosis being traded away? What the fuck, man?
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
Jako má na druhou stranu pravdu, stejně by ho dostali jednou cestou nebo jinak. Takže to literálně nemá smysl nějak odporovat.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
So, about Natlan, the next stop on my journey.
You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume.
Natlan.
I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame.
Yep. Neustálý konflikt. Země války. Mohlo být zajímavý.
There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain? Okay, sounds important.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
I guess that is all. No more questions to be asked.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you. In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface.
Yay,
it went something like this.
Skirk conversation. Do we get to see it? Please?
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
Ding! And they're out.
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Okay. Remains of the third descender.
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
Huh. According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts, and my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then?
Child. Že Skrk se sama odkázala do nějaký třetí dimenze, kde prostě k tomu nikdo nemá přístup.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
Chess pieces. Kdy vypadaly jako chess pieces? What the fuck?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
The Descender. She mentioned one of them. Yeah. It brings more information and context. I am the fourth Descender. It then brings up two things. One, that the Gnosis are related to the Descenders. And two, that the one who came before me has already died.
I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them.
Lumina tu nepatří, ona je čtvrtý Descender.
That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third Descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Lumina je schopná držet v těle a používat několik elementálních energií najednou. Už od prvního souboje s Childem, kdy používala Anemo proti jeho útoku a zapřela se o Geo pod svýma nohama najednou, tak dokáže používat minimálně v cinematikách několik elementů najednou. A spekulativně, až takhle oběhneme všechny ty nationy a absorbuje všech 7 elementů do sebe, tak plně dokáže restornout svoji sílu.
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy.
Why not? It's a gatekeep wish.
Traveler to the dead third descender and all.
Don't worry, I won't die that easily.
That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
No, byla to jediná cesta, jak zachránit její lidi. Takže whatever had to be done, had to be done.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Can you understand the will of a god?
I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Hey, Act 5 complete. Masquerade of the Guilty.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Stejný ty
I
otázky.
suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan.
Well. Takže to bude všechno. Dál zbývá 6. akt. Ne, myslel jste si, že přece půjdeme ještě do Natlanu? Ne. Ještě nám zbývá akt 6. Bedtime Story. Cold Case Commission v Sumeru. Neboli prostě The Traveler akt, kde většinou s tím jedním tím chujařem, kterého jsem zapomněl jeho jméno, řešíme Abyss Order a lidi s tím spojený. Zejména s tím spojenýho Luminina bratra, Ethera, nebo obráceně, pokud jdete za opačnou postavu. A pokusit se reunitenout ty dva sourozence dohromady. Že fontejnský přídavek v tomhletom příběhu, nebo subpříběhu. Takže jsem si ten celý fontainský arc hodně užil. Dali mi refresher na věci napříč celým Fontaine Archon Questem, což bylo nice. A hromada věcí se stala na konci, který by sami o sobě byly hodně velký wow efekt, ale vydořil jich prostě několik najednou prostě po sobě, prostě bum, bum, bum. Prostě několik věcí za sebou, prostě všechno z toho velký události a velký wow efekty pro mě. A teď jich prostě vynoří prostě půl tuctu na mě a já nevím nad čím žasnout dřív. Takže anyway, nebudu outro protahovat zase do nekonečna, takže jenom prostě tu zatím, že Fontaine Arc se mi extrémně líbil. Ty vystoupení v Opera Epicless, ty soudy, Phoenix Wright style prostě byly taky fajn, dobrý zpestření a unikátizovaní Fontaineu. A dál nás čeká Natlan, během kterého se stala ta voice aktorovská bojovina a celá ta publicita Genshinu a Hojo šla do kýbu. Takže uvidíme, jestli příběh bude mít tu svoji kvalitu, což se dozvíme za možná 10 dílů, kdy se tam konečně k tomu dostaneme. Protože ještě budeme samozřejmě vzdělávat nějaký mini-quest ságy, side story questy a tohleto. Pak ještě ten akt 6. Pak ještě jako spacing, nějaký další mini-quest ságy a pak až se tam dostaneme, takže 10 dílů plus minus. Natlan za 10 dílů plus minus. Schválně. Jak moc přesný to bude. Anywho, než se rozloučíme úplně, jak musíme samozřejmě jít na vyšpu. A ve dnešní relaci tady máme natlanský speciál Mulany a Kaska. Mulany vím, že nemám rád, protože jsem ji jednou trialoval, protože všechno většinou dělá ze surfboardu a je to prostě divný, mě to vůbec nesedla. Zatímco Kaska je taková nějak jakože lehký nadprůměr, ale že by nějak super wow efektnula, jako já nevím, třeba Kazuha, to se jako říct nedá. Ale mám ji radši než ji. Takže kdybych se měl vybrat, taky. Pořád tady máme ale 75 tady těch tempulů, takže možná dám 2 puly tady. Možná, že když ty 2 puly nebudou satisfying, tak dám 1/3 půl tady. Takže rovnou na to půjdem a uvidíme, co uvidíme. Můžeme dostat jakýkoliv charakter, nebo zbraň samozřejmě, takže uvidíme. Jestli dostanu zbraň, tak já přísám, že někoho roztrhnu vejpu. Pavon je s vorbou, ty vole. Prostě nejvíc casual 4-starová zbraň, vole, co může dropnout.
Hi there, I'm Iatsan from the Collective of Plenty, and I'm the most well-known fitness coach in my tribe. You look like you're in pretty good shape. Do you work out too?
Tu jsem ještě neviděl, když jsem jí trialoval taky. Když samozřejmě vyšla poprvé. A moc mě nenadchnula. Takže nad ní proto úplně nežasnu, protože jsem její gameplay stránku už viděl. Nic super úžasného. Je to 4-starová postava after all. Ale ještě ji nemám, takže ji mám v kolekci. Takže nice. Je to double 4-star drop, takže... A jako natlantská příprava, další natlantská postava do sbírky se určitě hodí. Rovnou si taky dělám tady tu currency. Všechno to narovu na ty intertwined fatey, protože to je ta pravá podstata všeho. A ještě druhý ten půl tady. Kdyby jsem dodělal dvojici ten půl, když už jsme udělali speciální Archon Quest. Dělali celou Fontaineu. Tak nějaký 4-star charakter, který používám. A nebo nějaký, který třeba nemám. I když těch moc není. Jansan, ta znatlanská je jedna z mála, kterou ještě nemám. Jinak 4-starový postavy mám, myslím, snad všechny, literárně. Charlotte. Ta není špatná. I když není úplně peak, tak může být fajn. Ale je to aspoň konstelace a ne zbraň. To takenu vždycky. A dostali jsme další tady ty chujemy, takže další 2 navíc. Fajn. Pádem jsme tady našetřili už skoro 60. Což během dalších pár dílů to bude těch 60. Jo, tady je další tour guide. Tour guide to odměnu. Jej, další tato kulička, nice. Archon Chapter Act 5 jsme dokončili. Wow. Next up. Dainslive. To jsem si konečně vzpomněl na jeho jméno. Dainslive Quest Act 6. Bedtime Story. Well. A to bude pro dnešek všechno. Dál se uvidím v nějakým mini questu nebo side story questu, ale to, co se rozhodnu. A budeme buildovat do toho akt 6. za pár dílů. Takže se uvidíme v příštím díle, děkuji, že jste se dívali a s touto bombou se učím, takže dobrou noc.